This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.
Okay, everybody, it's Paul Neeson. I got a very special surprise for everyone that's going to tune in live to see me. Very special surprise. A good friend of mine, Elaina Love, a raw food chef, an amazing raw food chef. She's there. She's in the bottom there. I'm about to record a virtual raw food recipe that she's making. And I'm going to flip my camera around and I'll put that on you. This will be loaded to the Raw Life Health Show later. I will upload it there. But I figured I wanted to get you guys on here live. So we'll turn around you there. There you go. Okay. So she'll be coming on the screen and I'll be interviewing her and then she's going to make a recipe. So thanks for joining, everybody. And Elaina Love is in, what's your website?
purejoyplanet.com.
purejoyplanet.com. A great raw food chef. Okay. And in the interview, I'll also ask you your website before we finish. So you can mention it if you want, but don't feel a need to, because I will at the end ask you what's your website. So here we go. Hello, everybody. It's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show. I am so excited about a special surprise. Today we have a guest who's I've known for a long time. She's one of the world's best raw food chefs out there. And I want her to make a recipe for people, but I'm not with her. So how is this going to happen? So we're taking advantage of the viral world out there, and hopefully this video will go viral. But we're going to have her making a raw food recipe on the show today, and I'm even recording this on the FaceTime Live for people that are watching it live. That if you want to join live, find me on Facebook so you can see these in advance also. So let's say hello to Elaina Love. Hi, Elaina. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I think this is probably the first time we've done something like this where I've got my Facebook Live audience. Hi, everybody out there. And you've got your Facebook Live audience. So we're kind of doing this circular thing, which I'm loving. I love this. We're so cool.
Yes, that's what it's about. And I've known you for such a long time. You're great. You're great. So how many years now have you, how many years ago did you first hear the term raw food?
I think I heard the term raw food probably about 25 years ago, and I poo-pooed it. It was like, oh, that's weird. And I remember my girlfriend gave me a book, and she was doing all this juicing, and I kind of tried some things with some rolled oats that you soak in apple juice. And then about 20 years ago, it came back to me. It circled around, and I read this book on cleansing, and like all the bells and whistles went off, and it was like, ding, ding, ding. I have to do this lifestyle. It's going to change my life. And in 30 days of doing raw and doing cleansing, I was a new person, and I've really never looked back. I've stayed really high raw since then.
And what made you decide to become a raw food chef?
Well, back 20 years ago, so that was 1997, there were no raw food restaurants. There was no Google. There was no recipes up online. So I had to take all of my favorite things that I love, my comfort foods, like my pizzas, my crackers, my things I was missing because I was doing 100% raw. And I had to figure out how to make them. So I found like this one little recipe book called Dining in the Raw. And I started making those, and I started coming up with my own stuff. And people started to like my food, and I was sharing it. And then they started asking for recipes. So I kind of just became a chef because there was an opening. And I filled it.
You know what's really cool about that is Dining in the Raw was one of my first raw food recipe books also. And I since really went full circle because I became good friends with Rita Romano, the author of that book. She lives right near me. We've done raw food retreats together.
Yeah, she's in Florida.
Yes, she lives right near me. And it's a great, everybody that's watching, Dining in the Raw. Yeah, I have it on rawlife.com. It's still my favorite raw food recipe book. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So so we're going to have you make a recipe here today, and unfortunately people can't taste it. But before we do that, tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I've been up to doing a lot of online stuff. So I have a culinary academy. I have a raw food school, which I've had now for 6 years. And now I'm doing a lot of those courses online because people all over the world want to come and take my courses, but sometimes it's not affordable or they just can't come. So we've been spending the last 6 months getting everything recorded and up on the website. So that's kind of my latest thing. We're doing a lot of boot camps where we're doing like a 30-day plant-based, like if you want to be raw and cook plant-based for 30 days, we're doing programs on that. So just focusing a lot on the online stuff these days.
That's great. That's great. And thank you so much for taking the time tonight to make a recipe. What are you going to make for us?
I'm gonna make you guys a beet hummus because we had talked about before. We were messaging back and forth on Facebook just for the last week or so, and we were talking about that people need stuff that's quick and easy, especially when you're trying to eat a raw diet or you're trying to eat a mostly raw diet. Like I don't really advocate that you have to be all raw to make this work. I mean, you can, but you don't have to be. So today, though, I'm going to show you guys how to make a really super quick and easy beet hummus. And the hummus doesn't have any garbanzo beans in it because I don't like even cooked garbanzo beans because my body doesn't digest them. But I don't think anybody should ever eat them raw because it's just really hard on the digestive tract. So we're just going to skip the garbanzo beans and use zucchini and beets instead. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. Zucchini and beets hummus. And
Yep.
and this is going to be great.
Yep.
So Elaina, Chef Elaina is going to beat up the hummus. All right, go.
So I got my handy dandy Vitamix here. And you can use a food processor if you don't have a Vitamix, or you can use a regular blender. I'm going to start with the zucchini, and this is just a big fat green zucchini. And since we want our beet hummus to be really vibrant in color, I'm just going to take the skin off. Now, don't throw this skin away because you can put the skin in the food dehydrator and have a green food coloring. Have you ever wanted to color something like, I don't know, like a pie, but you don't want it to taste like spirulina and you need a green food coloring? You can use the skin of a zucchini as a food coloring. So you don't want to get rid of that. You want to save it and just dehydrate it for later. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put the zucchini in the blender. You want to put the most watery things in first. So the watery zucchini goes in first. And then I'm going to get a new knife. Hold on. Luckily for me, I'm a chef. I have 2 knives on my knife rack. And then here's a beet, and it's the whole beet. It still has the skin on it. So what we do know about skins of vegetables like carrot skins and zucchini skins even and beet skins is that there's a lot of nutrition, phytonutrients in the skin. So if you're going to blend it, you do not need to get rid of the skin. So this is just a small beet. I would say this is probably about a half a cup of beetroot. So we're going to put that in. Then we're going to put some lemon juice in, about a 1/4 cup. And I have this little handy dandy juicer that I love. I use this a lot instead of having to get a whole juicer out. You just put the lemon in. A lot of people think you put it in this way, but you actually put it in upside down, and then you can just squeeze it right, just put the blender here, right into the blender. So that's just an easier way to get the juice out. You guys have probably seen how this thing works. The next thing I'm going to do is put in some garlic. Now this time of year, if people are getting sick, garlic, raw garlic especially, is a really great antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial thing to put in your food. So if you feel like you're coming down with something, this is a great immune booster. So I did the bash and chop just to get the skin to come off really easily. Just throw the garlic in the blender there. And then the only thing left to put in is some salt. I have some high mineral sea salt here. It's the pink Himalayan. And I'll put that in about a teaspoon. And then 3/4 cup of tahini. And this is a nice stone ground tahini. So it's really smooth and creamy, if you guys can see that. Can you see that on the screen? Yeah, you guys can. And then I just, woo, the spicy in the, I had a little bit of spice in the salt. And so, but the stone ground tahini is really nice because it doesn't get bitter. So there's a company that I love called Viva Pura that I get my stone ground tahini from. They're here in Arizona, but you can get them in a lot of the natural food stores. So then what I do is I'm just gonna, and then another thing you can add, I want this to be super simple. So that wasn't very many ingredients. A zucchini, a beet, some tahini, some lemon, some salt, and garlic. So that's 6 ingredients. And if you want, you can add a little bit of cumin, like a half a teaspoon of cumin powder just to give it extra flavor. Blend it. Can you guys see that blender? I think I need to move it. We'll put it right there. And then it should just blend really easily. I'm going to turn on no water because there's a lot of water in the vegetables. So So this is, if you're thinking Valentine's Day, this is a perfect appetizer for your Valentine's dinner if you're making one. And it's just so easy and yummy. And I make this a lot, and I just store it in like a glass jar like this, a little mason jar in my fridge. And I like to eat it at lunchtime with some flax crackers or dip, red bell peppers in it or something. But then you've got this beautiful red dip. And you can put, just so people know it's not sweet, you can put like some cilantro or something like that on top. And then you've got this gorgeous looking dip. So that's easy, huh?
Excellent.
What do you guys think?
Excellent. Thank you. That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I really believe in making stuff ahead of time too. So, a lot of people that are trying to start a raw food diet or want to eat healthier, the biggest problem is that they're driving home and they're hungry and they want to stop and get something because it's convenient and they don't have anything made at home. So if you can make like a big batch of this, even your salad dressings, your dips, things like that, make like a week's worth, make big batches, then you've got something waiting for you at home. So try your best to stock your pantry with dehydrated crackers and pre-chop your vegetables and leave them in a Tupperware, make lots of dips, lots of salad dressings. And then when you come home, you've already got food pre-made. And I think that's really important for success, to be prepared, to do your shopping, to always have your pantry and your fridge stocked with fresh produce. Fruit ripening on the counter, things like that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. And give us your website so people they can learn more about what you're doing and order your stuff.
Okay, you can go to purejoyplanet.com and make sure you click on the courses to find out about all our online courses, and the recipes button is going to give you this recipe and more are on the website. I have tons of free recipes on the site. So come check it out.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we'll come back again and do some more recipes, and just keep us updated with what's happening on your end. And everyone that's going to try this recipe, post below the video about how you loved it and how everyone else loved it and they couldn't believe it was raw. And stay healthy and stay raw. And thank you, Elaina.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. And for you guys watching on my Facebook Live page, make sure you check out Paul Nison's page. It's Paul, and the last name is spelled Nison. And he's the raw food man. You can check out his, he's got a YouTube site. What's your YouTube site?
Raw Life Health Show.
Raw Life Health Show. So go, and he's got tons of videos on educating you on how to eat raw food. So yeah, thanks for having me, Paul. And this was fun. We should do it again soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So hang on there, and thank you everybody for your comments and questions below the video. Bye.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.